Welcome to another Arsenal transfer news show. Today we'll be talking about how Arsenal could be potentially making 100 to 120 million on selling players that are surplus to requirements. Now the first person on that list is Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and I'm valuing him about 14 to 15 million pounds. Now there hasn't been much interest for Ainsley recently, but last season obviously there was the Wolves interest, and there was also murmurs about Manchester United, and also this season Watford have popped up as potential suitors for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And again, he's one of those players that divides the Arsenal fan base. I quite like him, but I see him as a right back, but he wants to play centre midfield, and I don't know if he has the right skill set for what we're looking for to play centre midfield. For me, he would be one of the players that I'll be looking to cash in on, and I'm rating him at 14 to 15 million, so that will be the first player that I will be looking to get rid of. The second person we'll be looking at is Kolasinac. Now Kolasinac has got 1 year left on his contract, and again there hasn't been much rumours going around for potential suitors for Kolasinac, but there are. I feel like he could go and play in Germany or could go play in Italy, and I'm not expecting too much of a transfer fee for him, considering we signed him on a free transfer. So anything that we make for Kolasinac is probably, or is going to be profit. So again, another person we'll be looking to ship out, and as I said earlier, he's got 1 year left on his contract, so we can't really demand too much of a transfer fee for him. So I'm rating him at 4 to 5 million pounds. Another player that we'll be looking to get rid of is Hector Bellerin. Apparently yesterday he said that he wanted to make the move to Inter Milan. We have turned down money for him before in the past. I believe it was Barcelona that made a bid for him. Again, he's only got 2 years on his contract, so trying to get a hefty fee for him. His performances have been up and down recently as well. A lot of the fan base feel like it's time for him to move on now. He never quite got to where we thought he was going to be, but you know, he's been a loyal servant to us, and I'm rating him at in between 16 and 20 million pound. If we can get that for Hector Bellerin, I feel it'll be a good deal. So yeah, and Inter seems to be the only team that are looking at him or have registered an interest in him, so hopefully someone else comes in for him and we could get a bit of cash for Hector Bellerin. Granit Xhaka, another player who has 2 years left on his deal, and he's currently in talks with Roma. One of the things that have been said about Arsenal is that we don't really get the transfer money that we deserve for players, and I feel like this is what's been making this transfer stick a bit, is that I feel we're probably aiming for more 20 million and they're probably aiming for more 15 million. So I think it's about meeting them in the middle and trying to get 18, 19 million pound out of them, to be honest. Again, he has divided opinions in the fan base. I do quite like Granit Xhaka, but I feel like he's not quite up to the standard that we need in terms of just his pace, really, because I think that's what really lets him down in the Premiership, is the speed of the game. And we've seen in the Euros that when he has time and space, he could do loads with the ball, but in the Premiership he doesn't quite have that same time and space, and it kind of leads to him making rash decisions and losing the ball and costing us goals, to be honest. But as a squad player, great, but I think we'll be looking at him, or teams will be looking at him as a starter, and as a starter for Arsenal, it's a no from me. So again, I'm rating him at 17 to 18 million pound. Now Lucas Torreira, one of my favourite players, to be honest. The heart, the energy, but again, he kind of looked lost when he was playing for us. It's like he didn't really have a position in midfield. He would just be everywhere, and obviously you do have box-to-box midfielders, but we needed him to be a bit more disciplined, and when we were protecting leads, we would often see him bombing forward and being up front. There were times where he was played in a more advanced role, which I don't believe suited him. Another player with only 2 years left on his contract. There has been interest from Italy and some from Spain. Nothing quite concrete at the moment, but I'm rating him at 15 to 20 mil. I'm hoping to get. I mean, I'll just be happy with 15. If we're not gonna keep these players, then we really need to be moving them on. So I'm rating him at 15 to 20, but I'll be hopeful if we get 16 to 17 million pound for him. Another player that divides the fan base again, Lacazette. Now he's only got 1 year left on his contract. Probably our player of the season last year, or one of the players of the season. Finished with the most goals in the Premiership for Arsenal last season. Again, 1 year left on his contract. I can't see where he's gonna go. I feel like we will offer him a new contract, but I feel like now is the time to sell him, because if you give him a new contract, he'll be going into his 30s with a big contract, and it'll be almost impossible to ship him on. So Lacazette, as much as I love him, I'll be trying to get rid of him this summer, because I don't feel like he's someone that we'll be able to get rid of in the future. And obviously with Aubameyang ready with a big contract, and we won't be looking to sell him this year, I don't believe. We've got Balogun, we've got Martinelli, so we do have players that can play in that position. We loved his link-up play last season, and we loved that he was getting goals, but he again never really hit the heights that we probably thought he was going to hit, especially with costing how much he cost. So if we can recuperate some of that money, half of it, I'll be happy. But being realistic, I think we'll get 20 million for Lacazette. Now, Eddie Nketiah is another. I don't think he really divides the fan base. I think most of us would like to move him on, but I feel like he's a very good footballer, but I just don't think the style of play that he has suits Arsenal. I think he needs to be up front with a 2. So the team that are actually supposedly interested in him are Crystal Palace, and he could play in a 2 with Benteke, which I think will produce goals for Crystal Palace, because he is that sort of Ian Wright type striker where he's always on the last defender and just looking for the scraps. So at Arsenal, it's not really about that. It's about integrating and how you can bring link-up play to the team as well as getting goals. And the link-up play wasn't really there. His speed isn't really there either. He's just a fox in the box. So I think now's the time to cash on him as well. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and I'm hoping, being a young English talent and a record under 21 goal scorer, I'm hoping to get £15 million for him. I just do think it's time for him to move on now. He's been given chances, hasn't performed as we maybe thought he could, so now will be the time to move him on. And I'm rating him at £15 million. So there you have it. That's how I feel Arsenal can make 100 to 120 million pound in the transfer market, selling players that are surplus to requirements. Let me know if there's anybody else that you would sell in this current Arsenal squad, and please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all soon.